Do you believe in liberty? Freedom? Really? We're at the Liberty Bell, and we're going to see it today. Let's see how many countries can ban me today, because we're going to be talking about freedom today. So, my name is Michael Carabell. Yeah, I'm going to say my full name today, because the Liberty Bell is about freedom. It says on it, it's engraved, proclaim liberty throughout the land and to all the inhabitants thereof. And the line for this is enormous. It's probably 25 minutes long just to get there. Many countries don't have freedom. When we think of freedom, at least when I do, I think of freedom of speech, the First Amendment, freedom of assembly, freedom to petition the government for redress of grievances, freedom of the press. Do you have freedom of speech in your country, Great Britain? I don't think you do. Do you have freedom of speech in China, in Xi Jinping's China? No. You'll be thrown in jail. Do you have freedom of speech to say whatever you want in public, in a public area? I'm not talking about YouTube. I'm talking about in a public space, in any place really other than the United States. You certainly don't in Saudi Arabia. The royal family there will throw you in jail. And Andrew Tate would tell you in the United Arab Emirates and in Dubai, you better be careful about what you say. What about in Putin's Russia? How long do you think that's going to last, especially if you get a following, without going to jail? Here in this country, in the United States, you cannot be thrown in jail for almost anything of what you say, especially against the government itself. Especially against the government. You have the First Amendment in this country. And the Liberty Bell was rung after the Declaration of Independence was signed in July 4th of 1776 on July 8th when it was read publicly here. Over there where it was on Independence Hall, then called the State House, probably the Pennsylvania State House, which is right over there actually. And I want to know, Xi Jinping, are you going to allow this video to be shown in your country? Putin in Russia, are you going to allow this video to be shown in your country? Fellow YouTubers, would you say your full name, and I want to know, on a video that's going public, if you are in a country other than the United States where you can say it in the public area, where you cannot be arrested, thrown in jail, tried by a jury and convicted. You can in other countries. And Great Britain, I'm talking to you too, because this city, Philadelphia, was taken over by the British, and the Liberty Bell was hidden from 1777 to 1778, which is why George Washington had to go to Valley Forge, about 20 miles away. Yeah, that's when 20 miles was a long way. And basically hide out there for the winter when this city, Philadelphia, was occupied by the British authorities and their army. Now, we gained our independence, but this bell is not just a sculpture. It is a working bell. I used to think when I was growing up, it was basically taught, well, it has a crack in it, and the first time it was rang, it cracked. Well, that may be true back in 1752. Yes, that's when it was actually commissioned and brought here from London, by the way. Yeah, this was gotten from a British company. and it was transported on boat to the United States and brought here. And it did crack. And then people in Philadelphia, actually from Mount Holly in New Jersey, where I'm from, recast it twice. They put more copper in it so it wouldn't break as easily, and this was a working bell. So it was rung, maybe not on the first 4th of July, but certainly on the second 4th of July, and on George Washington's birthday, and really lasted until 1840. And after that, it was pretty much cracking anyway, and it was kind of put out of commission. But the Liberty Bell became a national symbol. And I don't want to forget for you that I have my problems with the United States, to be honest, with freedom and liberty, which is what it means, which is during COVID in 2020. You know, we were told, oh, you can't go to even the beaches in some states. Maybe even here in New Jersey. I know in California. You're too close to people. You have to stand 6 feet away. Don't have too many people at your house. Don't have weddings. Don't go to churches. Are you kidding me? Did you? During COVID? To me, I was born in 1972. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave, or are we? Because in my opinion, and I know 1 million people died during COVID, especially if you were elderly or you had pre-existing conditions that could really get you sick anyway. Schools were closed for a long time, and there was Zoom. I'm going to tell you, back in the 1970s, that would not have been allowed at all. You would have gone to school. This was more of the land of the free and the home of the brave, I think, back then, to be very honest. Today, it seems a little different. And Donald Trump can tell you about that is there really freedom of speech? If you're running for political office and you can make a difference and you can beat the other side, and not only may you get shot in the ear in Butler, Pennsylvania, but you may be thrown in jail by Latisha James in New York City and get a jury to agree with it because there's a hush money payment because you're running for political office. That's not what the United States was founded on. It's not what Benjamin Franklin believed. In 1954, Benjamin Franklin said, "The bell rings. I must now go into politics." And back then it was spelled with a K, not a C at the end. And he knew it was grave. And he said during the revolution and before the revolution that, look, we all better hang together or we'll surely hang separately. And he was serious about that. He meant being hung. So how much do you believe in liberty really? Are you willing to risk your life, your fortune, and your sacred honor? I'm going to tell you, there's a gentleman on YouTube named Old Mike. He has a channel, Old Me Living Better. And this man is 81 years old and fought for this country. And I doubt he would be afraid to speak his mind on camera, publicly. I'll tell you where there's not freedom of speech. There's not freedom of speech on YouTube. YouTube can ban me. All right, YouTube, I dare you to ban me for talking about COVID-19. A lot of, and what if I said, oh, you shouldn't take the vaccine? Would you ban me then? Now, there is no freedom of speech on YouTube because it's considered a private company, right? It's not, oh, the government is arresting you. What about Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg? What would happen there? You speak your mind? Are you going to be kicked off of Facebook? Well, people were. People I know were. And there's a question about freedom of speech, and it really only exists, again, and I want to say this, in public places. There you cannot be stopped. So I'm going to see if China bans me, if Xi Jinping bans me, if Putin bans me in Russia, if I'm banned in Great Britain or on YouTube. I honestly don't care. I think my liberties here, my freedom, and the Liberty Bell stands for something and is more important. Now, I went to school, I went to the University of Delaware for political history, but I've always loved America, and I love what America stands for, and that is freedom. And then I went to law school in Florida for a year and a half, and I had to study the Constitution. And I'll tell you, it is more important, and other countries, believe me, wish they had it, than material goods. Now, I'm not saying you should get yourself arrested in other countries. No, I'm not saying that at all. At all. Yes, go ahead.
I took a picture of the statue. Like, there was people, like, there was a line.
But I will say,
there's a line there too.
You know, they can throw you in jail, but they can't take away your mouth. They can't take away what you're saying. And so we're going to see the Liberty Bell, which stands for freedom. And I want you to tell me in the comments, do you believe we have freedom of speech even in the United States? I think we do. Still, I think you would get a 9-0 decision from the Supreme Court for that, regardless of what party you're at. And think about it. If it were Kamala Harris in the last election in the United States versus Xi Jinping, who are you going to vote for? I'm voting for Kamala Harris. I don't care what party you're from. What about if it's Donald Trump against Vladimir Putin? Who are you voting for? You know, we're divided in this country, but we're all Americans. We're all Americans. Now, tell me what you think about that. Tell me what you believe, and let's see the Liberty Bell.
Now, the abolitionist movement in the United States have a lot of influence and roots in Christianity. Those abolitionists,